Peace, guys. What's up? How you doing? It is Wednesday. I kind of got settled in. It's now about 11:10 for Hiko Simon and Give Me a Flake Man. I'm sure if you're a fan of Japan vlogs, you know those two guys. They usually do a show on Wednesday night. It's called Two and a Half Oyaji, and maybe Victor's in Europe. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, yeah, it's not on. I went to YouTube and it wasn't there. So they've never had me on. I don't know how long they've been doing the show, but I guess I'm just, Hiko hates the Inaka. It's Inaka hate, pure and simple. Just bias against us living out here in the rural area, not in his cool Tokyo. So I think, next time it's on, you should go over there and just say, hey guys, get Jason on. And they never will. No, actually, I was on one time when Hiko wasn't there, and Give Me a Flake Man had kind of an open Google chat type thing, and I was on for a little while. But I've never been on as a guest. Feel a little slighted. So today, it's Wednesday. It's still hot. Basically, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. A little Japanese on there. You can get this a little bit out here now. There is one store out in my area that carries it, which is awesome. It's a little far away, but it's worth going out there, and I buy 24 at a time. I buy what's like a box, but they're pretty cheap actually. They're only like 58 yen a can, which is not bad. I used to go to an import shop and buy them for like 125 yen a can at one point, and I'd get like cherry Coke. They had root beer. Root beer and licorice are the two like Japanese kryptonites. But anyway, so in the sense that this is a daily vlog and it's vlogging what's happening to me on the given day that I turn the camera on myself, I feel like I should tell you what happened today. And I should preface it by saying that it may or may not be that interesting unless you want to be a teacher. I know a lot of you that watch this channel want to be an ALT and want to come over to Japan and be part of the JET program, which is awesome. But some of you watch just because you like learning a little bit about Japan, or you think I'm crazy, or I don't know. You used to be an ALT, and now you're still sort of like, hey, what's going on with Jason? Anyway, so if you're an ALT, I don't know why I'd call it an advantage, but one thing for sure is that you are not responsible in any way for your students. Meaning that you're going to teach, say your junior high has 12 homerooms. 4 first graders, 4 second graders, 4 third graders, because that's how they don't do 7, 8, 9, they do 1, 2, 3 again. You're going to teach all 12 of those classes, right? So you can't possibly, be expected to be responsible for, the progress of any one class. That's the job of the JTE, the Japanese teacher of English. So they make the lessons and have to give the tests and chart the progress of the students and give a grade. Which is something you will never have to do. Most of the you might be asked to give a test or help with something along the way, but for the most part, your attention is divided. Maybe you have more than one school. Maybe you also go to elementary schools. All kinds of stuff. You're not expected to be responsible for the progress of the students, etc., and assigning them points. That's not true when you teach at college. I am the only teacher in the room. I am 100% in charge of what they learn, what homework they're given, what grades they get, etc., etc. So it's a lot more responsibility. Some people would say it's more freedom, there's more challenge, blah, blah, blah. And these I think are true. But there's good and there's bad, I'm sweating out, my exam week this week. I've got a shit ton of stuff to do. And which is another reason, again, I wasn't, on yesterday. And, if you're an ALT, it's just like, oh, school's ending, cool, I'll see ya. So, because, you don't have to sit there and grade things and make report cards and stuff like that. And in college, of course, the students will come to me as their teacher and, plead their case if they're not doing well. So I think you can see where this vlog is going. One thing I don't like, and I hope this doesn't turn into a rant, but I had a shitty day, basically. Well, I didn't have a shitty day. I had a shitty first class of the day, and it kind of put me in a bad mood for the rest of the day, which was unfortunate for the other 2 classes I had to teach after lunch. But I had a class with my sophomore students, and one thing I'll just say right off the top that I don't like about Japanese students, as compared to American students, I can't compare them obviously to students in England or something, I don't really have any knowledge, is that Japanese students, for the most part, are very coddled. They're taken through their schooling, especially in junior high and high school, it seems, by the hand, and they really don't fail. Even if they do, they don't. And the homeroom teacher is this person that they're put into, say they're like the school I was talking about before that had 4 classes per grade level. So each of those 4 classes in each grade level would have a homeroom teacher, a person in charge of those 35 students, let's say, in 1-1 class, which is Ichigumi, Ichinensei, or 1-2 class, or 1-3 class. They would each have their own homeroom. And that teacher is responsible for those 35 students over the course of the year. They're the teacher that meets the parents, and in Japan that's a big deal. Like there's a few days where like all the teachers disappear for a while, and they're off on these home visits where they literally drive to the home of the students and meet. Like the parents don't come for PTA night and meet and sit there and in the thing. They go to their homes and chat, for I think a length of time about the student and, whatever. So they come to rely on this person a lot, and there's good and bad with that. They develop a bond that can be very strong. The students get very attached to their homeroom teacher, etc., etc. But that teacher basically, it feels like to me, and this is from an outsider perspective looking in, that teacher is basically being mandated from the vice principal and principal, okay, this kid is under your care and you're going to see that they graduate and pass to the next level. We're not going to take that, they're failing. There's no failing. They're passing and you're going to make sure it happens. So the kid will often, if they screw up or if they're behind or whatever, rely on the homeroom teacher to basically guide them along and help them, etc. Well, obviously, I come from a different angle on that, and it's college. So I don't coddle my students. I give them homework. I say, okay, go onto the computer. Here's your textbook, page 15. See this quiz? You got to go put the answers in the computer. You got a week to do it. Go, And I'll remind them one time the next class. And I'll say, remember that homework last time? Okay, it's due Wednesday. Make sure you go to the computer and do it. And sophomores are kind of the worst in college. The freshmen are ganky. They're brand new to school. They still, like I say, kind of do what you say. The sophomores have learned the game. And they basically, have like another year to enjoy college before they have to start job hunting and yada yada. Not that college is hard in Japan. It's not. That's one of the huge differences in Japan and America. In America, it's very hard to, what did somebody tell me the other day? They made a good analogy for it. Getting into college isn't so difficult, but staying in college is. In Japan, getting into college is difficult, staying in college isn't, or something. I don't remember. But anyway, I'll find it and let you know. It's not that hard. Let's just put it that way. The way the classes are structured, the kids take a lot of classes, but they're sorry, there's a bug. There's not a lot of homework. I think a lot of the other Japanese teachers, say in their politics class, their economics class, whatever the class may be, they go in, they have a 90-minute lecture, just like any college class. They take notes, blah, blah, blah. And then they're tested on this information maybe, 2 or 3 times in the semester. Well, English and learning a language is a lot different. You constantly have to practice. I'm constantly doing activities in class. I want them to, to bone up on the grammar that we're studying. I give them little quizzes. They have to do writing, so I know, what level of writing they're at. All right, and I'm going to split this into two because if I go over 15 minutes, my iPad starts to give me problems. So, anyway, so I, was gone a couple times in June. I've had to cram a lot of stuff into July. And that's, that's on me. But I mean, I don't think I've been unreasonable in what I've been asking them to do. And so a week ago, I said, okay, guys, we finished the unit. So we did 4 units in the book. Now we're going to do a group project. And then we're going to have our speaking test and our final exam. So I put them into groups of 4. And both of my classes are pretty great about that because I have like 24 kids in one and 23 in another, so it's almost completely divisible. So 6 groups in each class. One group had 3 people. And I said, okay, pick a topic and you're going to do a quiz show. So there's 4 of you in your group. Each of you, go home tonight, and I gave them a sheet and explained it all. I said, go home tonight, find 3 questions about your topic. Let's say your topic is Ghibli movies, okay, which is Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. Write 3 questions, bring them back to the group, so now you'll have, 3 times 4, 12 questions. And I literally drew it on the board and everything. I said, okay, now out of those 12, you're going to pick 10, the best 10, and you're going to make a quiz show with 10 questions on PowerPoint, or, nobody has a Mac, so Keynote's irrelevant. I said, you're going to make some slides, but don't just don't just put text on the slides. That's boring. Okay, you got to have the question, but, put pictures on there, make it colorful, make it interesting, make it fun. We want to enjoy ourselves because we're going to, watch all 6 groups in one day. So my freshmen, I gave them this assignment on a Wednesday. They had the next class, which happened to be a Thursday because Monday had been a national holiday, and then they did it that Sunday, which was this past Sunday. So they had like a class and a half of official prep time, which is like, maybe 45 minutes plus maybe 20 minutes. And then they had to do it. And after that Thursday, I sat in my office all day last Friday, and I said, if you want me to check your slides for grammar, spelling, to make sure that it's clear what you're saying, especially, if they're using Japanese words and trying to translate, like names of festivals or names of things, into Romaji, and, how do you say it, and I said, come by my office. I'm there from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I will help you. And like 8 or 9 of the freshman groups did. And they all did pretty well. We did that on Sunday, and I think I mentioned another blog. Had a good day, fun day. I watched 12 presentations over 2 classes, 6 and 6, over a 3-hour period, and I basically enjoyed them all. I mean, they were all pretty good. My ninensei, my sophomores, had the same Wednesday, the same Thursday. Then they also had Monday in class, where I was calling them up to do their speaking test, which was a partner dialogue for like 2 minutes, and then they went back to their group. And then they had all day Tuesday to come to my office. I was in my office all day Tuesday yesterday to help them, and they had to then do it. So they had more time than the freshmen, and definitely more time to like outside of class to get together with their group. And they just failed miserably. The first 6 groups, except for 1, 5 of the first 6 groups were just terrible, awful. And it was really, really frustrating. What did I do, you might ask? Did I yell? Did I scream? Did I throw things? Well, it's 14 and a half minutes into this vlog, so this is part 1. I'm going to end, and we'll pick it up in part 2. Okay, come back to find out what happened.